They're loud, they're destructive, there are over 10 options to choose from. Orbital stratagems range from precise targeted strikes to chaotic barrages that set everything on the map, including your graphics card, on fire. And whether you prefer a stealthy approach or all-out chaos, there is an orbital to match your playstyle. With 12 options to choose from, each orbital has its own quirks, abilities, and cooldowns. And in this video, we'll go over each orbital, how it works, and which ones you should bring to your next mission. There are three types of orbitals: single target, concentrated area of effect, and barrages. Single target orbitals hit directly where the stratagem ball landed and have the smallest area of effect. An example is the Orbital Precision Strike. This orbital is a single laser cannon shot that hits exactly where your stratagem ball landed. This is my go-to pick when I don't have an anti-tank weapon and still want a way to deal with all the heavies. It's a flexible stratagem and it can one-hit everything in the game except for the Factory Strider. Rail cannon strikes are precision strikes with built-in target selection. This stratagem auto-targets the largest nearby enemy where the stratagem ball landed, and it can destroy anything besides the Factory Strider. Paired with the stun grenade, this stratagem stops any charging enemy and deletes them on sight. The next type of orbital are those with concentrated area of effect. These stratagems also land directly on the beacon, but the strike zone is much, much larger. An example would be the Orbital Laser. The stratagem fires a single continuous laser beam that slowly sweeps a small area around where the stratagem ball landed. It prioritizes the largest enemy first before targeting mid-size and smaller enemies in the vicinity. You can only use this stratagem 3 times per mission, and it has the longest cooldown of all orbitals. Orbital Gatling fires a concentrated round of explosive shells directly on the beacon. It's great for dealing with bug breaches and reinforcements because it can shred the little guys and heavily injure larger enemies. Orbital Airburst also lands directly on the beacon, but the area of effect is a large cone. Think of it like a repackaged equal cluster bomb. This stratagem fires a burst of shrapnel 4 times and kills nearly every light and medium armored enemy within its strike zone. And due to the larger area of effect, be careful where you toss it because it has a really high potential of team killing. Orbital Gas, EMS, and Smoke all behave in the same way. The strikes land on the stratagem ball, releasing either a corrosive gas, a static field, or smoke that lingers for around 15 seconds. These stratagems are great for putting up a wall between you and your enemies, and to buy time if you're reloading or trying to do a side objective. The last type of orbital are orbital barrages, which have the largest area of effect for all orbital stratagems. Depending on the barrage, it can either destroy a medium-sized base or wipe out an entire corner of the map. Walking barrages start at where the stratagem ball landed and then move forward in the direction you were facing when you toss the stratagem. This stratagem is great for softening up a base or enemy hordes that are in front of you, and also have the ability to destroy any large structures like detector towers and shrieker nests. The 120 is my all-time favorite orbital stratagem. I personally think this is the most well-balanced stratagem in the game. Its strike zone is just large enough to where it can destroy a medium nest or base by itself, and its cooldown is really justifiable to where I have it ready if needed. And the spread of the missiles is safe enough to where it's unlikely to team kill, so you can hold your ground after tossing it. I have mixed opinions about the 380. The spread is huge, and this stratagem probably has the second largest strike zone of all the orbital stratagems. More often than not, I find that this orbital misses what I want it to hit, and I need a lot of enemies bunched up together if I want it to be effective. The Strider Convoy is actually a great use case for the stratagem, but outside of that, I caution against using it. This is one of those stratagems where you have to back up after you throw it, which means it has a higher chance of killing your teammates than it does of killing your enemies. We save the best for last. Napalm barrages are the big boys. With the largest strike zone and the longest deployment time, this stratagem has a potential to wipe out everything, including your team and your GPU. But it has great utility when used correctly. Although it's unable to close bug holes, it can easily take out 5 to 10 breaches on its own and soften up an entire quadrant of the map. Now that we've covered what each orbital does, let's talk about which orbitals I recommend for each front. For the Luminants, Orbital Gas, Orbital Airburst, and OPS are great picks. As of right now, we're only up against squishy Illuminate enemies, so we need orbitals that can provide strong crowd control and can take out warp ships. Orbital Gas and OPS are great for the job. Both stratagems can destroy warp ships even if the shields are up. Plus, Gas Strike offers great crowd control and area of denial. Both these picks have the lowest cooldowns among all orbitals, so you can use them frequently throughout a mission. Orbital Airbursts are great for clearing out hordes. They can't take out warp ships, but they shred through reinforcements easily and are great for raise the flag or blitz missions, where you need to deal with huge areas of enemies. For bots, bring either a 120, walking barrage, or orbital laser. Bots have the highest number of armored enemies and side objectives: hulks, tanks, barrager tanks, turrets, factory striders, detector towers. You get the idea. Since over half the enemies on the bot front have heavy armor, it's a good idea to take some form of anti-tank orbitals. I always take the 120 with me because it can easily clear out heavy encampments and can one-shot detector towers if thrown correctly. Plus, the cooldown is low enough to where I will toss it if I see a group of enemies I just don't want to deal with. Walking barrages are also great for softening up fortresses and factory strider convoys. Since this stratagem moves forward, you can easily push towards the objective instead of waiting around for the stratagem to finish. It gives you a bit more momentum when hitting a base, and it lets you clear out encampments a little faster. Finally, orbital lasers are the ultimate panic button. If you see multiple patrols closing in, dropping the stratagem will 100% delete them. Use it sparingly because you only get 3 charges, but this stratagem is a great "I don't want to deal with this right now" option. As a side note, the orbital laser has a wide attack radius, so if you're in its path, you might get incinerated too. Check and see where your teammates are before you drop it, but overall, this stratagem is a great pick to deal with clusters of armored enemies that you don't want to deal with. For bugs, bring Orbital Gatling, Orbital Airburst, or the Rail Cannon Strike. The main reason why people die in bug missions is because they get swarmed. Too many bugs are coming from too many directions and it's impossible to deal with everything at once. A good way of preventing this is to stay ahead of any bug breaches. If you see breaches happening, dropping an orbital Gatling on top of them is the quickest way of killing at least 90% of whatever's coming out. If you're too late and there are already too many things coming towards you, orbital airbursts rip through bug hordes, killing if not severely wounding everything on the bug front besides Battle Titans. The last orbital I would recommend is the Rail Cannon Strike. Is it the most efficient choice? Not really. It has the longest cooldown and the recoilless rifle does the same job. But this stratagem is just so much fun to use. From its satisfying sound effects to its ability to one-shot Battle Titans, it's just worth bringing along because it's fun to watch it obliterate everything on the bug front. I've given a lot of practical recommendations in this video, but I do think that trying to min-max this game can lead to burnout. HELLDIVERS 2 is about having fun, like sometimes picking something ridiculous like the Orbital Napalm Barrage. Just, warn your teammates first before you toss that one. Shout out to Ricochet Rabbit for inspiring this video. It took me 2 months to get to it, but I hope you enjoyed it and you're still around watching the channel. And for those of you who made it to the very end, thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what videos you guys want to see next. I've got a few ideas, but it's always great to hear from you guys. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.